being unapologetic and not saying sorry for things that you decide to do in your life, whether it is relationships, whether it is a career path, whether it's your hopes and dreams, and others tell you that that is just not attainable, and why do you think you can do it? You just need to understand you do not owe anyone an apology, and you do not need to worry what others have to say. You need to continue to be unapologetic. Hello and welcome back to the Manosphere Paradigm, the channel where we learn to level up in health, wealth, relationships and hobbies, where we always push and strive ourselves to be the better version of ourselves. Thank you for joining in today. Like and subscribe and drop a comment if this topic interests you. So since I'm starting out on YouTube, I'd like you to subscribe and help me with getting to my goal for 1,000 subscribers in the next month. I'd appreciate your help and appreciate your support. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button most importantly, so that YouTube can see that you're enjoying my content and you'd like to see some more. Being unapologetic does not mean that you become an arrogant ass that basically don't listen to any advice and disregard each and everything that everyone tells you, whether it's good or bad advice. No, that is not what it's about. A good man and a responsible man knows and accepts that he does not know everything, but also in that moment, you know what you believe, you have done the homework, you've done some research, and you know what you know. So I might be wrong, but I'm always right. That is the conviction that I talk with, and when I do make a point and have discussions with friends and family, or whether it comes to me interacting on a business level, on a professional level, I understand that I might be wrong with what I say because there might be a blind spot, and I do understand that. But in that moment, I will be right. I will stand for what I believe is right, and I would stand behind the research and the facts that I've gone through to be confident in the position that I'm taking. But I always understand that I do not know everything, and I'm not going to profess to know everything. So being unapologetic does not mean you become a complete and arrogant ass to not want to listen to anyone and everyone, but you learn to understand to filter information. You take, like they say, you take the meat from the bones and you spit the bones out, and you basically process and take you go to detail level as to taking only certain information that you can use, that you know you can go forward with and build a better platform to get further up the food chain, whether it is in your life, whether it comes to your career, whether it comes to personal relationships, it's for you to basically to know what to sift through and what information is going to benefit you going forward. The other part of it also is that as a man, you need to admit when you're wrong. There's certain times where you have thought a certain way, or you believed a certain way because the facts in front of you dictated you to follow that path. But then you realize, you know what, I might have said something or done something that someone else may have taken offense for, and I was wrong. And maybe I've screwed up in something and I did the incorrect thing. The team, whether it's in a professional environment, the team suffered because of it. And that is where it comes up to you as a man to own up to the fact that, you know what, I messed up or I was wrong. But then the big thing that you can do is to step up to the plate and then right your wrong and basically apologize for what you've done, what you've said, but then to take ownership of it. And that's the main word that I want to stress here, is ownership of if you've been wrong in the situations that I've described. So you can be unapologetic, but at the same time, if you are wrong, then you should be big enough to be able to stand up and say, you know what, I was wrong, or I did wrong, and own up to it, and basically take accountability and ownership of that. One of the things that we need to stop doing is to stop saying yes to each and everything and be a yes man. You should not or apologize for saying no. Sometimes you will find the true friends, or you will find the real person, or get to know the real person until that moment where you say no to them, if you've always been the yes person to them and always been there and done everything. You need to learn to say no if what is being asked is not to your benefit, and what is being asked is not for the benefit of having a constructive, reciprocative, I'll say it, reciprocative relationship. There we go, I got it out. So if it's not reciprocative, then you basically you have to say no. And if things is not working out where it's for both benefit, then you need to say no. If it needs to be friends or family that you can't make it, or you can't meet up with them, you can't do something for them because you've got something you need to do for you first, then it's going to be no. But saying no to people, you will start to learn and understand and see very quickly who is the true people that you need to keep in your life and who you need to continue on this path with. And to another point where one of the things that you shouldn't apologize for is for setting boundaries with people. You need to set boundaries so that people understand how you operate, how you do things, and how you maneuver in doing the best for you and also doing the best for them, whatever they need from you, whatever you need to work with them for, and whatever you need to give to whatever situation or project, whatever the case may be. So do not apologize for setting boundaries and knowing your limits so that you can balance between what you need to do for you and what you need to do for others. Always have that, and make sure that the first thing that comes first, do not apologize for setting those boundaries, putting yourself first, and making sure that once you are okay, you can have enough to be able to give to others and add on to others in whatever you do. So that's going to lead into, do not apologize to people when you start cutting them off. You do not need to apologize when people has come into your life. You've had a relationship, whether it's friends, whether it's you have professional, whatever the case may be. You should not apologize for cutting certain people off if the relationship is not going in a positive manner that you believe that it needs to be or needs to go, and if it does not benefit, and again, that word that I tried to get out earlier, reciprocal. The relationship needs to be reciprocal, where there is both giving and adding to the experience. So do not apologize for cutting people off, because you need to know who you need to go with. Not everyone is going to go with you in this journey of life. You may have met certain people for a season, and you may have met certain people for a reason. So sometimes you need to understand the difference between the two, and you need to learn to let go of certain things and move on, because at the end of the day, you should not feel guilty for cutting certain people off if it's not to your benefit, or whatever situation that you're in is not working for you. So do not apologize for it. Understand that certain things come and they go, and that is just the circle and the nature of how life happens. Another thing is, do not apologize for going after your hopes and your dreams and the passions that you have for certain things, certain hobbies, certain things that just light up your spirit. When you think about it, you can't stop thinking about it. When you go sleep, you start thinking about it. When you wake up, these are the things that you feel that you want to pursue in your life, and you want to make and become better at it and experience it to the full. One of the things that I have done is, I have 2 years ago, I started doing my motorbiking. And that's something I got into. I was very cautious and very anxious about starting off getting onto a 600cc motorbike, but I started off on a 400cc KTM, and from there got my skill level up where I could confidently move on to a 600cc Honda. So when I finally when it came to graduation day and I could finally get on the bike and do it, that level of achievement of just knowing that you started off one place and you set your goal towards something, and you basically put in the time, you put in the effort, and the energy, and now you basically achieved what others couldn't, because all they could tell me was a motorcycle is dangerous, you're going to die. Do you know how dangerous that is? I heard of a friend that lost this, that, other arm, limb, whatever the case may be. Yes, you have where things are dangerous, and you acknowledge that, and you approach it in a certain manner and cautious way in wearing the correct gear, making sure that you practice a lot and make sure you get your skill level up. There's certain things you can do to become better. There is the unknown, but also you need to let go and not apologize for going after the things that you want to do. You're gonna have people that constantly in your ear, and then they'll tell you this, that, and the other, and they're going to put you off from going for what you want to do. So learn to understand, to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to listen to myself, and I'm not going to be scared of going for what I want to do. Another clear example is this YouTube space. I've been completely anxious and scared about trying this for quite some time, and I thought to myself, you know what, you are only going to become ready when you actually just start and do it, and you're going to learn and grow further as you go through in this experience. So for me, I said to myself, go in, become better, learn as much as I can, develop my technique, understand how to become more articulate, understand how to put a good thumbnail forward, how to produce good content, how to make sure that my production looks decent so that people can enjoy it. So those are the things that you always need to push towards your dream, push towards where you want to see yourself, and stop apologizing to others for trying something different than what the herd is doing. So you need to get to the point of understanding that there's only a few people that's going to go in the direction that you want to do, because the herd, the 90% is going the other way, and you are the few that's making up your mind to say, I'm going to try. I see what's happening in the world, I see how things is changing, and I'm not just going to sit around and wait 5-10 years from now, be in the same financial predicament, be in the same type of environment I find myself, be in the same house, be in the same car, whatever it is, whatever you're striving towards, whatever you want to achieve, whatever goals you have. Do not be afraid, and do not apologize for going after what you want. Also, do not apologize for spending money or investing in yourself. These are things that you will always be shamed. It depends on what your responsibilities are. If you're a single person, you don't have that much responsibility. If you have a girlfriend, you've got a responsibility to her, whether you live together, or if you have a wife and a family. There's certain things that's pulling you financially in certain directions that you need to cover. And sometimes when it comes to, as a man, wanting to spoil yourself, you'd rather make sure that things is happening in the home as to what needs to be sorted and needs to be covered, but you tend to look past and feel guilty about maintaining and looking after yourself. That's one thing as a man you should never do, is to apologize for spending some cash on spending some money on making sure you have a good formal shoe that you can put on with a suit and a slacks and look formal, a good sneaker, couple of sneakers, a couple of tennis shoes, a couple of proper boots that you have, proper clothing. Never apologize for spending money on yourself, for looking good, spending your money on a fragrance of smelling good, and also investing in your grooming. Don't apologize for looking good and making yourself a better version, and pushing yourself to become a better version of yourself, because when you do look after yourself and when you do put yourself first, people will recognize that and understand that you respect yourself when you walk out by the door, and that you put in the time, not too much as a man to completely doll yourself up and take an hour to 2 hours in the bathroom. No, but put in a decent amount of time to be able to walk out by the door when you leave your house, to go into the world, look presentable, look professional, whether it's in a professional setting or whether it's casual. Friends can see that you have your clothes is properly you have clothes that is decent, clothes that fits you, clothes that sits on you. Why? Because you work out, you keep in shape, and you look after yourself. So never apologize for spending on yourself and investing in yourself, because it's only going to benefit you to be able to be the best version and putting out the best version of yourself. And lastly, One of the things that you should never apologize for is always striving toward getting more knowledge about whatever subject that interests you, whether it is in relationships, whether it is in business, whether it is when it deals with comes to family, and whatever it is. Do not apologize for always pushing what you know and going out there, reading books, reading things, and learning how the world works. That is one of the biggest things that I would stress when it comes from this video, is that learn how the world works. We have the tendency to live in this dream Disneyland of wanting to have the world in the Prince Charming and the princess, but that is not life. That's not real life. There's certain ways, certain things in life work and operate. There's certain ways that women move and women operate. There's certain ways men do and move and operate to get what they want out of relationships. So do not apologize for going out, getting knowledge about women, understanding the things that they like, understanding the things they dislike, and understanding more about their nature. Do not apologize for that. It's about being well informed, taking the information so that you can be well informed and be able to do better with it. The flip side, and the other thing to that as well, is not to have your image defined by what they think, because you should not be worrying about what others think. Again, it ties back to not worrying what others think as to what they've got to say as to your life and where they believe and think you should be. It goes across the board to not just friends and family. It goes across to your woman. It goes across to your girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And basically, you knowing who you are as a man, where you're going in your life, and what you want to achieve. So, but it does not hurt to get more information, to be well informed, and to be able to understand how to navigate, and also just how to be able to, again, say no when you should, and when to entertain certain things, and basically call it for what it is at that moment. So don't apologize for wanting more information, but like I said, your self-worth and your image is not defined by that and by what they think, but it is definitely defined by what you want to do, and not caring about what others think. Getting information that's going to help you to be better, do better, and get better results. So that was another episode from the Manosphere Paradigm, and I'd like you to like this video if you enjoyed the content and what I had to say. I'd like you to help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers in the next month. It's a goal that I have, and I'd like you to be part of that journey and support me in that manner. If you have anything to say, any thoughts that you had to say about this video, please drop a comment and tell me what you think and what is the things that you feel that you always have to apologize for, and from this video that you've learned to say, you know what, I do not need to apologize for that. So keep well and keep on pushing, keep leveling up and pushing yourself, whether in health, wealth, relationships, and in your hobbies, to be a better version of yourself going forward. Cheers.